evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are listening from. Anytime you hear this song, know that NUGS-CHINA and You program is live on NUGS-CHINA Radio. You can tune in via nugschina.org/radio or visit our website at www.nugschina.org. You can also follow NUGS-CHINA on all social media platforms. On Facebook, you can follow NUGS-CHINA at NUGS-CHINA, on YouTube at NUGS-CHINA, on Twitter at NUGS-CHINA, and on IG at NUGS_China_official_1. Each week we bring you a fresh perspective exploring diverse topics that resonate with the experiences, challenges, and activities of our beloved NUGS-CHINA community. Today we have something truly special in store for you as we dive into the experiences of some new and old student members through a segment we call My China Story. From the city of Shanghai, Zhenjiang, Guangzhou, Taiyuan and Nanjing will explore the fascinating cultural differences our guests have encountered and the lessons they've learned along the way. So sit back, relax, and join us as we delve into the captivating My China Story. This is NUGS-CHINA and You. Don't forget to call in at 8 o'clock p.m. and share your story with us or give advice to our new students. Today on the show, we have a fantastic lineup of 6 special guests joining us. 4 of them are new students who will be sharing their fresh experiences in China, while the remaining 2 are seasoned old students who will provide valuable insights and perspective of China to us. So not in any particular order, we are honored to have Mr. Nixon Ebenezer Quay, a PhD candidate majoring in curriculum and instruction at the European International University in Paris. He has been in China for 13 good years and has worked with many institutions in China. He joined NUGS-CHINA since he came to China in 2010 and has served in various positions. Notably, he has been serving as the National Electoral Committee Chair for more than 4 years and still counting. Joining us all the way from the city of Nanjing, we are honored to have Mr. Nixon Ebenezer Quay on the show. Good evening, Mr. Quay, and welcome to NUGS-CHINA and You program.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a great pleasure to hear your voice, Madame Francisca. How are you doing?
I'm good, and it's really an honor to have you on the show tonight. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Quay. We are also honored to have Miss Priscilla Adumakun JC, who is a final year PhD candidate at Jiangsu University. She has also served NUGS-CHINA in various positions, ranging from serving as a member of the National Editorial Board for the 2021-2022 administration, and she also served as the Women's Commissioner for the Zhenjiang chapter during the same administrative year. She's joining us all the way from the city of Zhenjiang. Hello, Miss Priscilla. Good evening and welcome to the show. Okay, Miss Priscilla has some technical challenge, so she will come in later. Let me continue with the introduction of our guests. So we are again honored to have Mr. Nuku Atake Abiao, who is a PhD candidate majoring in computer science at the Jiangsu University. He is also joining us from the city of Zhenjiang. Good evening, Mr. Nuku, and welcome to NUGS-CHINA and You program.
Yeah, good evening, Francisca.
It's a pleasure having you on our show. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Nuku, for joining us. Our next guest is Mr. Godfred Kofor-Tewia, a PhD candidate majoring in biomedical engineering at the Taiyuan University of Technology. Good evening, Mr. Tewia, and it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and then good evening, Miss Francisca. Thank you so much. I wish I was a PhD student, but I'm a master's student for now.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the correction. So Mr. Tewia is a master's student. Thank you very much. Okay, our next guest is Miss Abigail Kwashi, who is also a master's student majoring in accounting at the Shanghai National Accounting Institute, joining us all the way from Shanghai. Good evening, Miss Abigail. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Good evening. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to say good evening to our lovely listeners and good evening to you.
Good evening
to all of us.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us today. Finally, we are honored to have Mr. Munawo Kore, a master's student majoring in public health at Southern Medical University. He's also joining us all the way from the city of Guangzhou. Good evening, Mr. Kore. It's a pleasure having you on the show tonight.
Hello, Francisca. Good evening. I'm glad to also be part of the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And all our guests, thank you for joining us tonight. We hope to have an insightful conversation tonight. Before we go into our conversation, let me go for a quick break. But before we do that, let me remind you that Africa's Future Beyond Aid International Conference 2023 is here again, and the theme for this year's conference is Africa's Future Beyond Aid in the context of looking beyond self-esteem and an independent Africa. The conference will happen live on 23rd of June 2023. There's going to be a paper presentation and panel discussion, so you can submit your paper in the area of education, environment and energy, economics and finance, communication technology and security, medicine and safety, and transportation and logistics. Contact the conference secretary via 183-6793-865 or 158-5896-3069, or contact any of the NEC members for further details regarding AFBA 2023. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we will begin the show. Stay tuned.
Arise, gather youth for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her and make her great and strong. Arise, gather youth for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her and make her great and strong. We are all equal. We are all equal. We are all equal in building a motherland. We are all equal. We are all equal. We are all equal in.
Welcome back to NUGS-CHINA and You program live on NUGS-CHINA Radio. As I said earlier, today we are talking about my China story. We have amazing guests who will be sharing their China experience with us. So don't forget to join the call if you have any question at 8:00 p.m. or you can send your questions to the WeChat platform or any of the hall pages, and your questions will be answered for you. So let's begin the show for tonight. And since we are honored to have someone who has been here for more than 13 years, Mr. Nikwe, let me begin with you. Mr. Nikwe, why did you decide to come to China?
Well, thank you very much for this question. Why did I decide to come to China? Well, I was just looking for a place to do my master's degree. So initially, I got admission in Russia, and I was told I would learn in the Russian language. I said, well, that's not possible. And because I told them I'm not good at languages, and probably I'll not return with any certificate because. So I told my agent to look for, and just told me, okay, we have China and you can study in English. Okay, I said that's all I needed. So they looked for the schools and they did everything for me, and I came to China. I had no idea what China was or is, and whether they spoke English or whatever it is. So I just took my chance that I want to study, I want to explore, I just want to go somewhere to gain knowledge.
Okay.
And by the grace of I landed here in China.
Okay, so you came here purposely to do your masters.
Exactly.
And now it's been like 13 years. So are you still doing the masters or?
It seems you want to ask the question, you are trying to dodge behind this question. But China is a land of opportunities if you may look at it from an opportunist view.
Okay.
I always look out for opportunities, and when I came here, trust me, if I came from a rich family, I would have returned the first day I stepped at the airport, because
Oh, wow.
no one understood English, no one wanted to talk to me. I don't know if because of race or whatever. I just wanted my agent who was helping me was in China.
Okay.
So everything was just a phone call. So I had to call him when I landed at the airport. So I needed a SIM card or someone's phone to call. And trust me, it took me more than almost 30 minutes trying
Wow.
to talk to the person. We move to this person, works out. We move to this person. Suddenly, someone came to me who supposedly was a taxi driver, just walked to me straight. Probably the new students were coming.
Okay.
And then said, where? I don't even know how we communicated. But then I just showed him, okay, I was going to this school because my agent told me, when you get stranded, just tell them where you're going. He
Okay.
just put me in the taxi. I came straight to the school. And let me end by saying, look, my first experience at the school was just like going to the secondary school at
Wow.
Ghana. When I got the class, I said nobody wanted to help me. I had two luggages. One was on my head,
Wow.
literally on my carrying it, and I was pulling one behind me
Wow.
to the international office until I think one lecturer who had traveled outside just saw me. And then quickly, I don't know, he was like, hey, don't disgrace us. He just pulled the luggage off my head, said, let me take you to the international office. And
Okay.
that was how it started.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Mr. Nike, for sharing this with us. Let me go to those who just came. Let them also share their experience here with us. Let me go to Mr. Nuku. Mr. Nuku, why did you choose to come to China?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And once again, good evening to our listeners. I can't pinpoint, but I think because of my area,
Okay.
I think China became one of my options for having a further studies.
Okay.
And I'll confirm, and I did an admission in 2016 to come to China.
Okay.
But because of one or two things, I decided not to come. And secondly, I have people, especially who came to this particular university that I am. I have about 4 people who were here already.
Oh, okay.
So that also made me to have the zeal to come to China to study. I would say so.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let me ask a female new student who is with us to also tell us why she came to China. Hi, Miss Abigail.
Hi.
Please, can you tell
Yes,
us
so,
why you decided to come to China to whether study or work?
Okay, so I'm here to study.
Oh,
And
okay.
the success of me coming here is it's a success when preparation meets opportunity.
Okay.
Aside the preparation, I had also declared that it's about time I step out of Ghana to study. Not to stay outside Ghana for long, but just for studies and go back.
Okay.
So an opportunity came and I was selected. I applied and here I am.
Okay. So why this particular country? There are different countries, so why China?
Yes, so a letter was written to my organization to nominate people
Okay.
to be selected for the program. Yes, and I was selected. I applied, and I'm here.
Oh, okay. Okay. So how long have you been
Yeah.
in China so far?
Okay, so I arrived during the COVID period.
Oh, okay.
I arrived here in Shanghai on November 1, 2022.
Okay.
And so I experienced the quarantine and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy. Okay. I had to be quarantined for the 14 days compulsory quarantine.
Okay.
I had to go through that before I arrived in the school.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And I had to Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. So let me go to Mr. Godfred Teria. Please, how long have you been in China so far?
I arrived here in February 11th. So I think I'm almost 3 months old in China.
Oh, wow. So what was your proud conception of China before you go here?
Yeah, back home in Ghana, every item you'd see had the label made in China. So I knew China to be the hub of industrialization, the hub of manufacturing.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew China to be a very beautiful place. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you had a positive thought of China, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right from SHS, I've always wanted to be at the Great Wall of China. I hope to be there one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is a dream come true.
Yeah, for me, it's a dream come true.
That's amazing.
The day I'll get to the Great Wall of China, I think I'll be fulfilled.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then I hope you will get there soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing that with us. Let me go to Mr. Corey. Can you also tell us your proud conception of China? And before then, how long have you been in China so far? Hello, Mr. Corey.
I'm here.
Yeah, can you tell us how long you've been in China and what was your proud conception of China before you got here?
Just like Abigail, I also came to China in November. I think I arrived in China in November 2nd.
Oh, okay.
And I went through the quarantine and the stresses that comes with the quarantine.
Okay.
So prior to my coming, I was actually to go to United Kingdom. That's where my aspirations were actually.
Okay.
I had admission to Aberdeen University. But Ghana and its own issues, Japan was not willing to provide support.
Okay.
The Moscow scholarship came out and then I picked it and here I am.
Wow. So it was an opportunity, right? You didn't really decide to come to China.
China was never my first choice.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Miss Priscilla, can you also share with us your proud conception of China?
Oh, okay. For me, as our brother was saying, there was already made in China, so it was quite popular, and I knew a bit because in my environs there used to be a pork or meat shop, so they used to come there to purchase their pork. So I used to hear stories from them, and also online know that the place is already developed. Yeah, so actually I had positive thoughts when coming.
Okay.
And also because in the University of Ghana they had the Confucius Institute, and they did well to explore and make known their culture and other stuff to the students in the university. Yeah.
Okay, so what was your initial impression when you arrived?
Well, there was nothing much. First, I arrived at Guangzhou, which was already kind of a black community. So
okay,
the only thing I see development, growth, big malls and all those stuff. But my second coming in Shanghai, getting back to my current school, that was when you have some kind of culture shock more than places where you have a large African community. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Mr. Nuku, can you also share with us your initial impression of China when you arrived, and what were your expectations? Were there any surprises?
Yes. The surprises were actually on their development in terms of tech.
Okay.
And though I have that idea that they are developed when it comes to technology, at least I expected to see what I've seen.
Wow.
Because when you look at us in Ghana, to be sincere with us as Ghanaian, we don't actually value these people when they come to us.
Okay.
We look at them as people, when you are to pick from the Western end, they are not people that you consider or look at other people. So when I got here and I look at how tech savvy the whole place is, I was so amazed. That is one of my surprises.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. Miss Abigail, can you also share your initial impression of China and the surprises with us?
Oh, okay. There was nothing much because I really psyched myself. So knowing that I'll be coming here, I started researching about China, about Shanghai, reading about it.
Okay.
And so I had psyched because of the mind, I had psyched myself that whatever lies there. And I also knew they were, the second to the, country with the highest economy.
Okay.
So I knew they are doing well. They are in terms of infrastructure, in terms of all of you. So I wasn't so much surprised. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And Mr. Godfrey Teria, can you also share with us any surprises when you came to China?
Yeah, I have a big surprise.
Okay,
I had a
share
big
with us.
surprise when I got to Beijing airport. Right from the airport to Taiyuan, I was expecting a hostile atmosphere,
Okay.
but to my surprise, I had a lot of luggage. I was bringing some items to some friends here in Taiyuan, but I had help right from the airport to the Feng Tai train station,
Okay.
and then from the train station to my campus. I had people willingly helping me. Sometimes I would even tell the person that, oh, this luggage is heavier, so you take the lighter one. But they would insist and then carry stuff and then get me to the train and then get me to the taxi. I was overwhelmed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting. Okay, so let me go to Mr. Corey. Mr. Corey, can you tell us any cultural difference you have noticed? You have been in China for more than 6 months. So can you tell us any cultural differences you have noticed between China and Ghana in terms of food, custom, educational system, and everything? Hello, Mr. Corey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So with the educational system, let me say it's by far well structured than it is in Ghana. However, the difficulty is the language,
Okay.
because most of the lecturers that are teaching us, their English isn't so straight. They are doing well, but usually when you sit in the class, sometimes a person can make up to 5 to 6 sentences, and you'll be struggling to understand what he or she is saying.
Okay.
That is my major challenge. And then with regards to the students, Ghana, even when you see somebody for the first time, it's easier for you to make friends with a person.
Yeah.
Very, very easy. But here, you speak to a Chinese guy or a lady, and then they are like, they'll just look at you and then they are fast to move.
Okay.
But I later realized that probably it's because most of them do not understand the English.
Yeah.
Because when you get to communicate with one that has some grasp of the English language, then they are willing to engage with you.
Mm.
But with the cultural issue, we are are 2 worlds apart. Definitely, I do not expect much of a similarity, except with the fact that I've been able to adjust their everyday rice, because rice has always been my favorite. So eating rice 24, eating rice 24/7 has not been a problem.
Okay.
But having to eat rice for more than 5 days, I was beginning to say, I love rice, but
this is too much.
Until a friend told me that there was a spot in Guangzhou around Senyu on the African port.
Okay.
So I've made it a point that every other Friday I'll just go there, get me some banku, some fufu, and grano soup or katumpais, or any of the Ghanaian dishes, or what do you call it? Gobe.
Okay.
Just get some gobe. I'll fetch my gari and put it in the bag when I get there. Buy my goods and just what it is.
Okay. I think those in Guangzhou, you are having Ghana experience more than those in the northern part. So, Mr. Nuku, can you also describe any cultural difference you have noticed between China and Ghana in terms of food and education?
Just as the speaker before me just said, there are 2 worlds apart, our culture and their culture. But as I keep on saying, if you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do.
Yeah.
Just as he said, there are several things that we are familiar with that when we get here, we are not getting it.
Okay.
But who are we to complain? So they have different culture compared to us, but we have to just learn it. And that is, the first one is the food, and then from where we are coming from and what we've been eating, and when you get here, you realize that it's 2 worlds apart, and some of us, we are still trying to find it, how best we can fit into that area when it comes to food.
Okay.
Then when it comes to the education, their education system is also different from our education system entirely, because their education is put on their culture, their tradition. So you realize that some of the things that they do, they are not doing it because they just want education. They are doing it because of where they are coming from, their cultural background is what is making them do that. Because, for instance, when some of them, and you talk to them 1, 2, 3 times, they don't want to continue conversation with you again.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends, and then another time you realize that a person wants to engage you in a conversation. For instance, they are quick to give you something and they want you to accept it, as you all know. Mm-hmm. But when you try to give them the same thing that is coming from your side, they will not be willing to accept it. So these are 2 different things that I've seen in terms of culture and then the education. But I think there's nothing to worry about. You just have to accept it and move on.
Okay. Let me ask the last person about the cultural difference. Because of our different cities, that's why I want each and everyone to share their experience with us, because what you experience in Guangzhou is different from the cultural experience in Zhejiang. So, Miss Abigail, can you also share with us any cultural difference you have noticed between Ghana and China in terms of educational system, food, and other things?
In fact, when Mr. Corey was speaking, I was amazed because my school here doesn't allow us to cook. Imagine me carrying food from Ghana that when I get here and I miss my local food, I'll prepare and enjoy. And they don't allow, so my foods some are even spoiled. I had to throw them away.
Oh, some please don't throw it away. Kindly send it to Jan for us, we can cook here.
my Inkulenu Kenke and my Inkulenu Ambenkwa, they are all in my bag here, stuck in my bag
send
here.
It to Jan.
And there's nothing like the African pot where I can visit to eat my
Wow.
African dishes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can imagine since November 1 that I arrived here, I've been eating. Well, I'm getting used to it anyway.
Okay.
And one thing I realize is if you want to really adapt early, you just need to accept their culture.
Okay.
Not forgetting yours entirely, but you try to blend, like integrate both your culture and theirs.
Yeah.
By so doing, even the language becomes a bit easier. Learning it becomes a bit easier.
Yeah.
But if you are so much stuck with your own and you are unwilling to adapt, things become difficult. So I just said myself that let me just enjoy what I have here.
Wow.
Today I went for lunch. I didn't enjoy my food today.
Oh. Sorry,
Yeah.
but please don't waste the nkulenu and the yam and plantain. Please send it to Jan. Wow, that's quite interesting. I thought like we are all experiencing the same thing, not knowing people from different cities are experiencing different things. Wow. On this note, let me allow Mr. Godfrey Tewia to also share the cultural experience with us, because it seems we are getting diverse points from different cities. So, Mr. Tewia, can you also describe any cultural difference you have noticed between Ghana and China?
Oh, okay. One cultural difference is in Ghana, I was one person I used to greet a lot. You would see this person, you would greet the person, and then even if it's the first time, you would have a response. But these people, it looks like they are shy. It looks like they are not really open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So only few of them have that kind of confidence. I don't know if that is how they are trained. Yeah, they have that kind of a mindset where they just accept whatever is given them. That is how I see them. So, but with the other experiences shared by my other panel members, I think it's entirely different here.
Okay.
Here we're able to cook our own foods here. Sometimes you walk out and then they would be staring at you. That one I think is normal. And then sometimes, when you sit in the bars, no one wants to come sit there. And that one I see it as a privilege, because sometimes I'm able to just relax my body and all that. Yeah, so for me, the big cultural difference is the language.
Okay.
And then with the education system where it is English taught, but their English taught is Chinese English taught. Yeah.
Wow.
That is a worry. But apart from that, it's been like home away from home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing.
Can I add something?
Okay. You can come in.
Yeah, so I don't know about the others, but here in my school, from the 2020, 2021 to 2022 cohorts, I'm the only Ghanaian.
Wow.
Yes, the only Ghanaian. Yes. Yeah, so even my local, if I don't call home, it's difficult. So
you don't get anybody to speak to with.
Nobody to speak with. Nobody to speak the Gan, the Chi.
Wow, sorry.
Yeah, so had it not been NUGS Shanghai chapter organizing a program, I think it was after the independence celebration, there was a program. I got there and I saw some Ghani. I was so much excited that day because I was like, I was missing the local language.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. Okay, thank you very much for sharing that experience with us. Mr. Nikwe, can you come in regarding the cultural differences? Since they are new students, any advice, or you can share yours, how you were able to manage it with them?
Thank you very much. I think you've all shared a very interesting point, and I'm really enjoying it. For me, I'll encourage them, or what I experienced, the people here are very friendly, but just that they're a little bit reserved on the first approach.
Yeah.
And a little shy, and just like you say, they don't want to make that mistake of not being able to speak the English. So sometimes they may want to walk away, just like I told you at my first instant at the airport.
Yeah.
But for me, I realized that, and I realized, like the other lady was saying, on my campus when I came, Nanjing University of Aeronautic and Astronautic, Mingugu campus, I was the only Ghanaian there.
Wow.
So I needed to make effort to get happy. So I usually go to their gym or their sports center where they play badminton and the rest. I target the young people, they're playing badminton. After a while, I just go, can I play? They're like, okay. I stand in, I play, and, allow me to say, sometimes we are stronger than them. I stand in to play 2 hours. This person will come, let me play with him. The other person, it ends up, okay, can we go for dinner? Then it goes. And then they bring another person to come and see that strong guy who is able to play with everyone, but who doesn't get tired.
Okay.
I got to play with a pool of friends, and I got to have, it got to a time I can say every weekend I had free, how do you call it, dinner. Because everybody wants to have dinner with the guy. That was my friendship with them. And then one cultural thing is that out of that I realized they don't give out cash as gifts, but they are willing to buy things for you when you become friendly with them.
Okay.
They are willing to spend their time with you, whatever you want. You want this, they will look for it for me. Where is it? Let's go, 2 hours journey. They are ready to go out with me. Just so you can say they have a foreign friend with you.
Okay.
So that is one part. So you need to make the effort to learn the language, and that is how some of us also learn our language. The classroom didn't really help. My associates with them and speaking the broken. But if I may go higher a little, I've learned something about their marriage, distant culture. It's very interesting. I wish we would have that in Ghana. Here, if two people want to marry, if you are rich, the man's family buys a house, the lady's family buy a car. But if you are both not rich, the parents of both the man and the woman will come together and buy a house for the new couples to begin.
Wow.
So it's like parents begin the life for their children, so they also begin, so they plan for the next generation. That is what is going on here, and that is what is enabling them to go on. And if I may touch quickly on their education, they start their education with creativity. As a person who has been teaching here, having taught in the kindergarten, it's so exciting how they start from kindergarten. The kids are led into creativity, there is craft work, so they begin to see. And let me end by saying, there was a time, my previous kindergarten, they have these toys, play corners they will play. And then they had, bricks and blocks in the classroom. And interestingly, there were two groups. The guys made something, you asked them, they were telling you, this is a subway. The train passes here and there at that kindergarten age. And surprisingly, the next day the ladies came and they did something. You asked them, do you know what they did? They told her, this is toilet. This is toilet. And so the teachers were like, look at these girls. Whilst guys are making subways,
they are making
toilets and other things. But the point here is that right at that kindergarten age, they are able to explore. To think about how to make some of these things. So you can imagine when they grow how life is going to be. So it's been really interesting learning, hoping. And finally, I'll say, I have two boys here. That is one reason I'm really dying for them to enjoy the culture and the education here, because I'm believing if they're able to go through that, they will go home, definitely will go home. And by the time they get home, they have that creativity, that sense of creativeness, that sense of attitude to work. Because they go into the primary school here, there's real discipline. And I teach in an international school. The discipline is really very low. But my kids, although I have the chance to bring my kids to the international school, I said no, they go to a traditional school. And I can tell you, there's discipline there. And that is the culture I am hoping and praying they can learn. So by the time we go home, they can be different.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. The conversation has been very interesting. I've even forgotten I have to go for a commercial break. Forgive me, my producers. I hope today you give us extra 10 minutes because the conversation keeps getting interesting. On that note, we'll go for a quick break. Before we do that, let me remind you that NUGS-CHINA Academic Excellence Award Committee has opened nomination for the Personality Award. and it's time to acknowledge and reward the efforts of NUGS-CHINA members and alumni. So the categories open for the Personality Award include Most Outstanding Member, Most Influential Member, and Most Impactful Alumni. Kindly scan the code that is being shared on the hall pages and nominate any member who deemed fit in any of the aforementioned categories. You can also contact the National Vice President via 18367943865 or contact any of the NEC members for further details regarding the Academic Excellence Award. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the show. Stay tuned.
Ago Granafo, we believe you've been enjoying our series of programs on NUGS-CHINA Radio. Another riveting program is here and it's called NUGS-CHINA and You. Get ready with your questions, all you need to know about NUGS-CHINA. So let's meet this on every Thursday from 7 o'clock p.m. to 8:30 p.m. and let's get chatty with our fabulous host, Francesca Abel. Don't miss this program.
Welcome back. This is NUGS-CHINA and You program live on NUGS-CHINA Radio. Today we are talking about my China story, and we have amazing guests who are sharing their China story with us. So let's continue our conversation for tonight. Let's go to language experience in China. So let me begin with Mr. Nuku. Mr. Nuku, can you share your experience learning Chinese with us? How difficult it has been? Have you found any method or resource that have helped you?
I see. Thank you. Very interesting. I would say it's very, very difficult, but because of being tech savvy, we try to explore other means.
Okay.
My challenge, the first challenge when it comes to language came in when we go to the airport, and then now we want to take a car to our various destinations. That is where we had a problem part. And when we tried to communicate with the people, no one was willing to. Not that they weren't willing, but the barrier. So we have to quickly use translators. Yes, translators to try to communicate.
Okay.
That have been what I've been using for some time.
Okay.
But as time goes on, I try to get in touch with some other people who are very good in speaking the language and try to communicate with them.
Okay.
The language being a primary, yeah.
So now, how's your speaking level? Can you speak a bit Chinese, or is just the ni hao?
It's not actually just the ni hao anyway. I can go a little bit ahead with certain, like when you go to the market to buy certain things, that kind of thing we try to add. But the unfortunate thing too is some of the people that you go to and the kind of things that we buy are people who normally try to speak with us
in English, yeah.
And you see, when you meet some of them, they want to speak English with you so that they can also perfect their
English,
their understanding of the English. That is also another factor. But my colleague, guess who was saying she's the only person in that campus, probably she'll be willing or she'll be doing better when it comes to the language, because some of us, when you move out, you see a Ghanaian, you come in, you see a Ghanaian, everywhere you go, there's a Ghanaian that you see around.
Yeah.
So your communication with them is not in Chinese, but rather in our local language. So that also make you not to move or grow in the language.
Okay.
And some of us too, as I said, some of us, we are not good in language. When it comes to languages, we are very, very poor.
Okay.
So that is the difficulty we are finding. But we are trying to do everything possible, humanly possible, to be able to at least speak their language to an appreciable level.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Nuku. So, Miss Abigail, since you are the only Ghanaian in your school, how are you coping with the Chinese language? I hope by now you can construct 10 sentences in Chinese, right?
Oh, yes.
Yay! That's amazing. Wow. Wow.
But being the only Ghanaian, it doesn't guarantee that. It doesn't guarantee that because school here we don't mix with the Chinese in the classroom.
Okay.
It's the international student school runs separately from that of the Chinese. So
Okay.
even activities, we have ours, they also have theirs. I sometimes complain why it is so because expecting they would have more activities so we can mingle for cultural exchange.
Okay.
But it doesn't happen that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in my introduction, I made mention of something that if you are willing to adapt somehow, you try to respect the culture of the people.
Yeah.
It becomes easier. Yeah, it becomes easier. So before we even started doing the ni hao, the tones, the all those things, I had to also download an Duolingo app to
Okay.
enhance my study. Yeah.
Okay.
And at this moment, I'm hoping I can speak, but it's not easy.
Oh, okay. It will be easy soon. All right.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Miss Priscilla, I know you can speak Chinese very, very well. So kindly share with us how you were able to learn Chinese with the new students so that they can also get some experience from you.
Well, basically, I had to be taught, and also going around, when you meet the student, actually the Chinese student, they want to learn their English. So when you're trying to speak Chinese to them, they're going to reply in English.
Yeah.
But when you go to the marketplaces, when you were bored, you just can go outside, just working, window shopping, and all those stuff.
Okay.
And most of them, the locals, some cannot speak English, so it becomes an environment that you must force
Okay.
yourself to speak the language. So this is one of the things that helped me.
Okay.
And also, I don't know, I find myself always fighting with them.
Wow.
So I need to always go back to learn the vocabulary so that when there is a fight, I'll be able to pour it out like, yeah, shabi,
Okay.
Because sometimes I don't like losing fights, so my vocabulary needs to be on point for those ones. So having
Okay.
arguments with them, because certain times they are a bit selfish, and it's always, they have to, it's not like, you win, they lose game in any transaction. So
Okay.
sometimes you see that with your musisi mankasa it will be something, yeah.
Wow.
So you start to stand your ground. The little Chinese you just pour out, they'll be like, okay, this person may know the system, so let me just go back to what is actually there.
Oh,
So
wow.
actually the language is important. It's really important. If you want to enjoy your stay here, get good opportunities, then the language is the key.
Wow.
Now, because as we can see, language barrier, it is part of a culture. So when they know that you can speak the language, they're going to treat you like, not equally to like themselves, but a bit, at
Okay.
least. They know that they can flow with you and be comfortable, because some of them are shy and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Thank you very much, Miss Priscilla, for sharing that with us. Maybe after the program, you can share some of the apps that you use to learn Chinese, because I know you can speak Chinese very, very well. Okay, so
Yeah, trying.
I have a question for you from Miss Sita. She says, I'm wondering about the social aspect of studying abroad. Have you made lasting friendship with local students or other international students? How have these connections enriched your overall experience in China? Let me ask Mr. Nikwe this question. Mr. Nikwe, can you answer this question for Miss Sita?
I heard the lady saying the Chinese are separated from them, but it is up to you to make the conscious effort to find. I just told you when I came here, I went to the gym center and then asked them if I want to play badminton with them, and then gradually they warmed up to me. I made a lot of friends. So make that conscious effort to move out of your dormitory, find young people. Definitely they will not warm up to you immediately, but then you may find one, two who may introduce you to the other people.
Okay.
So that is one. And then if when it comes to someone, usually the Chinese are not mixed with the international students. That's what I know. And every school differs. Your ability to cook and your ability to do other things. So it is up to you to find out from your international office and what you can do. And then as time goes on, if they can modify some things for you and make it flexible so you can also enjoy other things.
Okay. Okay, so about Miss Sita's question, Mr. Nikwe, she said, have you made a lasting friendship with local or international students, and how have these connections enriched your overall experience in China?
Oh yeah, you can see I'm 13 years and running, and everyone who is close to me knows that I'm going nowhere until my So I'm telling you, I connect with the people.
Okay.
Because we understand. I always tell people, when you come to my house, you can't go to my fridge and open it until I have given you that permission.
Wow.
You get me?
Okay.
Whatever is happening to us, whatever they are doing, well, it is up to us to break that norm or tradition by opening up to them. I have made good friendship with them. I've connected with them. That is what is enabling me to stay here. Like I told you, initially when we were here, I found little jobs by telling those few people I connected with my Chinese. Okay. And they were really willing to look for like summer jobs for us and other things.
Okay.
The people are willing, but it is up to you to go out and connect with them. They have like these dancing centers in the evenings and the rest.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go there when they are dancing. I stand at the back, try to do my who here, and they come asking the questions. Do I have this in my country? Some of them may be annoying, but I have my intentions. So when it comes to connection, I can say I have connected with them. I have learned their culture, and I have understood their culture, and that is what is making me count my years here. So my lady, please, my guys, please go out there and then make friends with them.
Wow.
And that is one that can open opportunities for you.
Thank you very much. Go out there and make friends with them. Thank you very much, Mr. Nikwe, for sharing that with us. There's a question from Kofi. He's also asking, he says they have talked about their social and communication challenges. Do they also have challenges regarding academic activities, mental health, and how do they expect NUGS to help? Wow. Let me ask Mr. Godfred Teria this question, and Mr. Corey, if you can answer this question for Kofi. He says you have talked about your social and communication challenges. How about academic challenges, mental health, and how do you expect NUGS-CHINA to help you regarding that? So, Mr. Godfred, you can come in.
All right, thank you. Let me tackle the one on the mental health.
Okay.
I would want to give credit to the NUGS Taiwan chapter. They are doing a great job here.
Wow.
Yeah, they are doing a massive job. Before I got to China, in Ghana, they started talking with us, helping us right from Kotoka to Beijing.
Wow.
And then coming here, they've even organized a depression seminar for us before.
Okay.
Yeah, Honorable Justice Jima and then Patrick Osei Latte, they've been so helpful.
Okay.
With regards to even the academic work, they've organized several in-house training for us on how to write reports, how to do research. For myself, even helping me get a lot of academic papers using the Science Hub. There are a lot of things that I didn't know that they have helped us. So the academic work would have really been a challenge because I'm the only foreign student in my class.
Oh, wow.
And basically everything is in Chinese all the time. Yeah, except for some few courses. But the NUGS chapter here has been helping. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Thank you very much. Mr. Corey, do you have any answer regarding this question?
Well, regarding the language, I think I am privileged to be. Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I am quite privileged to have some other African students here
Okay.
that I communicate with. And then let me also mention that with my program. I'm the only Ghanaian,
Wow.
but I have another Ghanaian doing his PhD. Yeah.
Okay.
So the language has been a challenge because, like I said earlier, you approach one to talk, then the person is moving away from you. And then with the African students, we communicate. Obviously, we communicate in English.
Yeah.
Regarding the mental health, let's say I've been a survivor. I don't really, I get to an environment that easily adapt.
Okay.
So I've not really had any kind of mental stress. Of course, sometimes you miss home.
Yeah.
You miss your family and all that, and then you wish you could. But hey, you are here for a purpose, and then you don't let that drag you back and all that.
Don't you think it's because you are getting gobe and fufu at Guangzhou to eat? That's why you don't miss it.
Yeah, I think that is a contribution, and I also have a very special friend who keeps the company. So
wow.
Yeah. I don't have much stress.
All right.
Hey, who is this friend?
Okay, thank you very much. The next question, I think, is for Miss Abigail. It's from Kofi. He says the inability to cook is worrying. I want to know if the dormitory is mixed with Chinese and foreign students. I think, Miss Abigail, this question is for you, from Kofi.
Yes. So, in our building, the 4th floor and the 5th floor is for the international students, and then the 2nd and 3rd we have other Chinese students.
Oh, okay. So I guess
there was a class we had in Chinese, and I got to know that the number 4 is it's an unlucky number. Like Chinese don't like number 4.
Okay.
I don't know if you know about that. So I was disappointed. So if it's 4, so imagine we are in building 4 and we are on the 4th floor.
Wow. This is all that I can say is sorry for you.
Yeah, but I'm like, no, in my country where I'm coming from, it's not like that. 4 is just a number. So. Yeah.
Wow. But I guess it's because you are mixed with Chinese, because most of the international dormitories, there's a place where you can cook. But maybe because you are mixed with Chinese, that's why you can't cook. Okay, let me go to the next question from Miss Araba. She says, I'm fascinated by the language aspect of studying in China. Could you share your journey of learning Mandarin? What strategies or resources have you found helpful in improving your language skills? I think this one, Miss Priscilla spoke about it. Maybe let me give her 30 seconds to tell us again. Miss Priscilla, 30 seconds. How you were able to learn Chinese?
Yeah, I didn't exclude the classroom, the teachers. You communicate more and go out more often. Yeah. Go out more often, speak to the locals.
Okay.
Just whether you don't really have to be accurate. You don't care about your errors and your grammatical errors or even pronunciation errors. You just say what you want to say. If you're wrong, they're gonna correct you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let me take my last question. In fact, I decided not to take any question again. Our time is up, but I'm really enjoying the conversation, and I wish we could have 2 hours for today, but there's another program after this show, so we can't have much extra time. So let me ask this last question from Adom. She says, living abroad can be challenging at times. Could you talk about some of the biggest challenges you faced during your stay in China and how you've managed to overcome them? Any tips for other students facing similar situations? Wow. Maybe Adam joined late, but let me give Mr. Nikwe 1 minute to answer this question for Adam.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. To begin with, the lady who says 4 being sir is related to dead. So Chinese don't like 4. That is number 1. 2, speaking to Chinese people, you don't need to understand everything they say. Usually, I speak to people, I can promise you 95% of whatever they say, I don't understand. But we can speak for 1 hour, 2 hours. I just identify 1 or 2 things they are saying, and we can speak for 2 hours, and we are there. No problem. For me, the secret of staying in this country is planning.
Okay.
I realize that I need to be ahead of time, like 6 months ahead of time when it comes to documentation.
Okay.
They may need something they will not tell you.
Sure.
So you have to always be ahead of time. Find out what is the next step, what is the next thing they need.
Okay.
If you do that, you will not be met with any impromptu. So ask questions every now and then. If you're able to do that, you'll be fine in China.
Okay.
But don't worry, because usually I'll be there and people will tell me, I'm left with 1 month and my school says they don't want to renew my visa. I'm like, there's nothing I can do. Not even 10%. All of a sudden, like just 2 months, I'm finishing my master's and I don't want to go home. And you should have applied for PhD somewhere in February or January.
Yeah.
And not, so stay in advance, whatever, plan in advance.
Okay.
You
wow. Stay in advance and plan in advance. Thank you very much, Mr. Nikwe, for that. Okay. Our time is up, so we'll be closing soon. But let me give everyone opportunity to advise. There are people listening who are not in China. Maybe they want to come to China, or they are new students, old students. So any advice for future students, future students who want to come to China? So please, I will begin with Mr. Nuku. Do you have any advice for students who wants to come to China?
Yeah, of course. I think based on where we are coming from and where we are, we need to manage our time very, very well.
Okay.
Because if you want to talk to people at home, for instance, we are not getting to the late part of the day. It's now 8:31. It is now that they are coming to the afternoon.
Yeah.
So if you are not able to manage your time and how to communicate with them too, it will be a problem. So I think time management is very, very important in terms of communication.
Okay.
That is all that I think I want to say about it.
Thank you very much. Miss Abigail, any advice for future students?
Yeah, I have a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so number one is to respect the culture here, and then also let's know that there's no shortcuts in the language, so we take it serious. On daily basis, let's just practice, because no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
And also, we shouldn't show favors, yeah, and we should be cool with everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, we should be nice with everyone, but we should keep ourselves busy. I mean, just as our senior has said, we should plan ourselves well, stay in advance. So there's a lot to be doing than to live anyhow. We are here for a purpose, and we shouldn't shift from that purpose. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Godfrey Teria, any advice for future students?
I would advise any prospective student to have the desire to learn the language.
Okay.
And then to be open to make new friends. Like one of my seniors said, I've also been privileged to go on a dinner with about 3 Chinese so far. Yeah.
Wow.
So once we are able to accept them and then be confident. We represent Ghana and then Africa. So if you are coming here, you have that mentality that you are going to represent Africa in a positive way, and they would be very happy to be with you and then go along with you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Corey, any advice for future students? Hello? Hello, Mr. Corey? Okay, let me go to Miss Priscilla. Any advice for the new students who are in China now? Okay, Mr. Corey. Any advice for future students? So, it's fine.
Yeah, my candid advice is that China is a good place. So far, I've not had any regrets. And I would encourage anybody who would want to come to China to do their education.
Okay.
My only challenge is the fact that it's difficult being a student here and then also working. That is the difficulty I'm really facing.
Oh,
But I think by and large it's a great place, and then the education here is worth it.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me go to Miss Priscilla Adomakon. Any advice for the new students and students who want to come to
basically
China?
all has been said. Trying to learn the language, time management, and having making friends and relationship are very important. And
Okay.
I think that every individual here you have to set your priorities. You have to have your scale of preference. What is more important? You're supposed to achieve, and you work towards that goal. And how you can't just say make friends. How to maintain that friendship, the relationship is also an important aspect. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Priscilla. And lastly, Mr. Anikwe, any advice for the new students who are in China now and those who will be coming to China in the future?
Yeah, China is the land of opportunities. Trust me, I'm going nowhere. Take the opportunities in this country. Look for them. Look for something you can make of. Number two, those of you getting scholarships, stipends, and the rest, don't just spend the money. Make sure you get a professional certificate here in addition to your degree or whatever you're doing.
Okay.
I got some certificates from Harvard. That is how I was able to get working here, maybe sometime. Finally, if you are single, please get married here.
Wow, Mr. Nikwe said if you are single, you need to marry before you go. On that note, let me ask this question that Vendish asked. Sorry?
I said my last one was speaking to the host.
Oh, really? Okay, let me ask this question from Vendish. He says, I want to ask Miss Abigail and Priscilla if they have, if they have boyfriends, how are they coping with it if they have, and how are they coping if they don't have? If they don't, do they prefer Ghanaian men? Hey, Vendish. Okay. Miss Priscilla and Miss Abigail, please, in 30 seconds, answer this question for our radio manager before he beats me.
Miss Priscilla goes first.
Okay. All right, I'm not single and I'm coping very well. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's all for now.
Wow. What about you, Miss Abigail?
Yeah, so tell him we'll talk backstage.
You will talk backstage? That's a perfect answer. Yeah, Waboka. Okay, thank you very much for the show today. In fact, I've really enjoyed the show today. So let me give each and every one of you 30 seconds to say your final words to our listeners. So let me begin with Mr. Nikwe, your final words.
Please, it's been a pleasure, and we're all here to support. I am really available if you need anything, apart from money anyway.
Okay.
So, because I believe I have kids here, and I always say we are making the next Obamas in this country.
Wow.
Let's stay here. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, Mr. Nikwe. Okay, let me go to Miss Priscilla. Your final words.
Oh, those who are here, new people, and those who are coming, I'm telling them, you should come. It is only the country that you get a move free, no out of free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow. She says China is the only country you get rice for free. Interesting. Miss Abigail, please, your final words to our listeners.
Okay, for me, it's about the social aspect. Don't be too quick to make friends.
Oh, wow.
Especially with your African people. You know, there's this culture. There's this about us. We sometimes backbite each other, and so you have to be very careful to avoid being hurt. You need to set your boundaries as Priscilla has said, set your boundaries, know what you want, remain focused, be serious with the language, and search out for opportunities, because this is the land of opportunity, as our senior has said. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Godfrey Teria, your final words to our listeners.
Yeah, my final words are that we are the only Ghanaians that probably a foreigner or a Chinese would ever meet in their lifetime. And we have to represent Ghana. And we have to tell a story that Ghanaians and Africans are a wonderful people. Yeah. And I would also want to get connected to our panel member who had been here for 13 years. I would want to get connected.
Okay, that's Mr. Nikwe.
All right. Mr. Nikwe, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Kore, your final words to our listeners.
Yeah, my final words is that in as much as we are here to study, it's also important that we also create that social link. We build a social capital with other people from other nationalities, and because it's important that even outside of your country, you are able to make international connections. Yeah, it expands your scope of opportunities. So let's make other friends, but like one of the panelists said, don't be too quick to put your all or to engage in trusting anything that you make. Just know your boundaries. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you very much. And lastly, Mr. Nuku, your final words to our listeners.
All right, thank you once again. My final words about listening to the panelists. I realize almost all of us have talked about some good things about China. We have a common country, we have a common destiny. I'm urging all of us here that whatever good things that we are learning here, we can go back and impart those things on our lives back home in our small way. So we should not learn the better things here, and when we get home, we try to become one of them. We need to impart that in our small way. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nuku. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you for tuning in to NUGS-CHINA and You program. We hope that the stories shared by our guests have left you inspired and enlightened. To our guests, Mr. Nikwe, Mr. Nuku, Miss Priscilla, Miss Abigail, Mr. Kore, and Mr. Kofoteria, thank you very much for generously sharing your China stories with us. Your experiences have given us a deeper understanding of the joys, the challenges, and growth that come with studying in China. A big shout out to my dedicated, amazing producers, Mr. Stephen Adedanso and Mr. Ivan Sopoku Mensah, who always work tirelessly behind the scene to bring this episode to life. Your commitments are truly commendable, and I can't do this show without your support. Thank you very much, my producers. And to our supporters and listeners, thank you for your unwavering support and for being part of the NUGS-CHINA and You community. Your engagement make our show more special, and we appreciate your continued presence. Remember that NUGS-CHINA is here to support and guide you throughout your educational endeavors. So whether you are a new student just beginning your China adventure, or you are an old student looking to connect and share your experience, NUGS-CHINA is your home away from you. Join us again next week as we bring you more captivating topics and voices from NUGS-CHINA and You program. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep embracing the incredible experiences that life in China offers. My name is Francis Calbo. I have been your host for tonight. See you next week, same time. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Arise, gather youth for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her and make her great and strong. Arise, gather youth for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold
candid Africa, truthful and unapologetic.
There is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. And my last warning to you is that you all should stand firm behind us so that we can prove to the world that when the African is given a chance, he can show to the world that he's somebody. We are waiting. We shall no more go back to sleep anymore. We are going to demonstrate to the world, to the other nations, young as we are, that we are prepared to lay our own foundation. As I said in the assembly just minutes ago, I made it point that we are going to see that we create our own African personality and identity. It's the only way in which we can show the world that we are ready for our own battle. But today, may I call upon you all that at this great day, let us all remember that nothing in the world can be done unless it has the purported support of God. We have done the battle, and we again rededicate ourselves not only in the struggle to emancipate other territories in Africa. Our independence is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent. And here, I will ask the band to play the Ghana national anthem. Freedom! Freedom! Freedom!
Did you like or hate what you heard? Let us know in the comments below.